left off.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. 38th favorite dad in the family community, Papa West, Jacob West, here for another exciting episode of TMG Takes the Field, our weekly show where we talk about sports. Football, only sport we talk about, for the most part, maybe. I always have this conversation of, we'll open it up to other sports like we used to back when we first started doing this. And we will, briefly, for a time or two, but most importantly is football. Starting off with college football, we did have some fun games over the weekend. Had a Friday night game, Indiana taking on Indiana State. Indiana destroyed them 73-0. Saturday, Utah beat Wyoming 31-6. Ohio State beat Ohio 37-9. Penn State beat Villanova 52-9. LSU beat Florida 20-10. Oregon beat Northwestern 34-14. Texas beat UTEP 27-10. Interesting moment where Arch Manning had like 10 straight incomplete passes. Got booed. Illinois beat Western Michigan 38-0. Oklahoma beat Temple 42-3. Iowa State beat Arkansas 24-16. Iowa State beat Arkansas State. Ole Miss beat Arkansas 41-35. Really bad day for Arkansas. Alabama beat Wisconsin 38-14. Texas Tech beat Oregon State 45-14. Michigan beat Central Michigan 63-3. Auburn beat South Alabama 31-15. Missouri beat Louisiana 52-10. We did have a couple ranked versus ranked matchups, including some upsets. Let's see. Miami and South Florida, number 5 versus 18. Miami mollywomped them 49-12. South Florida having a really nice run of 2 straight wins against ranked opponents, unable to make it a third one. And then Georgia taking on Tennessee. Georgia won 44-41 in overtime. Texas A&M beat Notre Dame 41-40 in a technically a upset. And then we did have 2 actual upsets where unranked beat ranked opponents. Vanderbilt beat number 11 South Carolina 31-7. At one point, Lenora Sellers got knocked out of the game, so that was interesting. And Vanderbilt's relevant just for one game in the season, so the season's looking good so far. And then Georgia Tech beat Clemson 24-21 in a very exciting game in Georgia. So now our rankings are: Ohio State still at 1, Penn State still at 2, LSU still at 3, Miami has moved up to 4, Georgia moved up to 5, Oregon fell a little bit there at 6, Florida State moved up a little bit there at 7, Texas did fall 1 to 8, Illinois is at 9, Texas A&M has moved up to number 10, OU is at 11, Iowa State's at 12, Ole Miss is at 13, Alabama's at 14, Tennessee's at 15, Utah's at 16, Texas Tech is at 17. Georgia Tech is at 18. Indiana is at 19. Vanderbilt's at 20. Michigan's 21. Auburn's 22. Missouri's 23. Notre Dame 24. And USC is 25. South Carolina, Clemson, and South Florida ranked last week. No longer ranked, at least for this week. And then we do have a couple matchups this week. Ranked versus ranked, number 17 Texas Tech is traveling to Salt Lake City to take on the number 16 Utah. Tennessee has UAB. It's Civil War, Oregon versus Oregon State. Florida State's taking on Kent State. Number 22 Auburn's traveling to Norman to take on Oklahoma. Ole Miss is taking on Tulane. Michigan's taking on Nebraska. Notre Dame's taking on Purdue. Georgia Tech's taking on Temple. Missouri's taking on South Carolina. Miami's taking on Florida. We have Illinois versus Indiana. This year's exciting. 2 years ago, nobody cared. Vanderbilt's taking on Georgia State. LSU has Southeast Louisiana. Texas has Sam Houston State. And then USC has Michigan State. So a lot of fun, exciting matchups there. that we will talk about next week. As far as NFL goes, we did have a really fun week too. I think it was fun. Football's always fun though, as long as the Eagles win. Thursday night, the Packers taking on the Commanders. Commanders did okay. They showed up, but the Packers really played. They were victorious 27-18. We had the Rams beating the Titans 33-19. The Bengals beating the Jaguars 31-27. Ravens beating the Browns 41-17. Bills beat the Jets 30-10. Patriots beat the Dolphins 33-27. 49ers beat the Saints 26-21. Cowboys pulled out a crazy win 40-37 in overtime. The Lions proved that they are the Lions, winning 52-21 over the Bears. Seahawks beat the Steelers 31-17. Colts beat the Broncos 29-28 in a very exciting game, especially a very exciting ending. Cardinals beat the Panthers 27-22. Eagles beat the Chiefs 20-17. Sunday night, Falcons getting the win 22 to the Vikings 6. And then on Monday night, we had the Buccaneers had the lead the whole game, lost in the fourth quarter. So still, Baker Mayfield technically got a fourth quarter comeback, beating the Texans 20-19. And then the Chargers looked amazing, beating the Raiders 20-9. So very, very exciting games. As our records go, I got to turn to that page. Tato and I had very similar picks. He did message me later in the week giving me his picks. But I finished at 9-7. He was at 10-6. So we were very close. Bringing our overall records, I'm at 16-15. He is at 20-12. And our first celebrity guest picker, Jay Burns, had a great showing in his first week, finishing with 12 correct, 4 incorrect. So 12 of 16, putting him at 75% for a win rate. Again, what I'm doing with the celebrity guest pickers is their percentage of correct games is going to go up against other celebrity guest pickers. So Jay really proven to be kind of be a favorite for this competition, which is great for the first one. So I seriously feel bad for anybody who has to compete against him. Talking about people who have to compete against him, our week 2 celebrity guest picker, all the way from Louisiana, we have Chris Perkins. Chris, how's it going?
Pretty good. How you doing, my man?
Oh, I am doing great. So I do want to ask real quick, what were your thoughts of the previous week, both college and NFL, and what are some games you want to highlight and talk about from last week?
Joe Burrow, run away from Cincinnati as quick as you can.
Yeah, absolutely.
The next Andrew Luck.
Yes. There are thousands of obese people in the world, and the Cincinnati Bengals cannot find 5 who can protect that man.
Oh, it's like turf toe, which I've never had it, so I can't say, oh, it's turf toe. But I'm like, if you have to have surgery, it's like, wow. And then, okay, I'm going to talk about the Saints, of course. Oh, it's not going to be a fun season. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, I'll give you that. I had them winning, I think, 4 games this year. Unfortunately, one of the games I had them winning was week 1 against the Cardinals. So,
well, thank you for 4. It's one more than I thought.
Yeah, but no. Going back to Joe Burrow. Getting turf toe. So apparently, Brock Purdy, this was his injury that had him out last week, and there was the conversation of this could be bad, this could be not so bad, and the worst case scenario is what's happening to Joe Burrow. But I do remember back when they were about to draft Jamar Chase, Joe Burrow's rookie year, he tore his ACL like in week 4, week 5. And so they were showing the pictures of the offseason of the new jerseys, and you can see his scar on his knee. And so somebody posted that picture, and they're like, The Cincinnati Bengals proving that they're going to draft Penei Sewell at pick number 4 this upcoming draft.
Nope.
They really should have picked Penei Sewell in that draft.
And then I'll go on the Vikings. God, I think Carson Wentz is going to be a better quarterback than J.J. McCarthy.
Yeah. I mean, I've always been high on Carson, just with his time in Philadelphia. I'll even say it. He is the second best quarterback Indianapolis has had since Andrew Luck. Phillip Rivers had a great year. Carson Wentz had a really good year. Was one win away from them getting a playoff spot, and they just ditched him for I don't even remember who. Matt Ryan maybe, who won 5 games. Ryan. Yeah, who won 5 games.
Maybe 6. Give him one. Yeah.
No,
for our friend Paul's out there, give him one more.
Yeah,
he loves Matt Ryan.
No, I do. I find it interesting that we have seen J.J. McCarthy play 8 quarters of football, and he has played 7 horrible quarters of football, but we're giving him that one. Time will tell.
Threw it to Justin Jefferson. It was like, thank you.
Yes. No, one thing I will say, though, is that team did face a lot of injuries that day, especially on the offensive line. One of the most underrated relationships in football is the center to quarterback relationship.
That is very true.
And I mean, I don't think he had that great of a relationship with his starting center because they've only played 1 game together. But still, to lose your center halfway through the game is definitely tough. And then to lose, I believe it was the right tackle very shortly after. Also, it's gonna be a rough game for Minnesota.
It is. But to go back, I know you're an Eagles fan. Carson Wentz wouldn't have won the MVP that year if he wouldn't have got hurt.
Yeah, he had an MVP season. He tore his ACL while running it into the end zone, ran 5-6 yards on a torn ACL to score. And
then I don't know if I could say the nickname of Nick Foles, but
it's a family-friendly show. I'd prefer you not.
Okay, I'm not going to say it.
We'll hold it for Combat Wrestling Trivia, their sports league. We'll say it then.
Yes. But you know the name.
Yes. We know the name. So, with that, let's get in to week number 3. Perkins, are you ready? Oh, you have your list
down.
All right. So our first game, we have the Miami Dolphins traveling to Buffalo to take on the Bills. Thursday Night Football. This Bills are 11.5-point favorites. I'm going to go ahead and go first on this one. One thing I will say is Ed Oliver is set to miss this game too. I believe it's an ankle. I think it's a knee. It's his ankle that's hurt. He missed last week. He is set to miss this week too. And he's like really the only good player on that defense. But thankfully, they're playing the Dolphins, who don't travel well and don't play good teams well. And this year have not been playing well at all. So I am going to go with the Bills, and I don't think it's going to be close. I think it's going to be a very ugly game. Chris, what do you think on this one?
I was about to say, after Josh Allen had that game playing the Dolphins, I'm going to go Bills on this.
All right, so we are both in sync on that one, going with the Bills. Next, we have our Sunday games. First, we have our 1 o'clock games. First game we're going to be talking about is the Rams are traveling to Philadelphia to take on the Eagles. Eagles are 3.5-point favorites. Chris, what's your thoughts on this one?
This one made me think. which I don't do a lot, but thank you. But I'm like, the Rams are good. I'm going to say playoff team, but I'm going to go with the Eagles.
All right. There are definitely several games this week that I was going back and forth on. There's actually one game that we're going to talk about that I wrote one team, and then halfway through my picks, I was like, nope, I'm going back to this game. I marked him out and I wrote the other team. And this was one where I'm going back and forth on. I did write one team down, and I stuck with that team, and that is my team, the Eagles. I think this is going to be a very tough game. I think the Eagles are one of the best teams as far as playing against who they're playing. So they'll play great against great teams, and they don't play so well against bad teams. So I do think that they're going to play great against the Rams. I like our secondary to be able to bottle up Puka and Devontae Adams. We're going to give up some passes. We're going to give up some big yard plays.
That's a hard task. Those are two good receivers.
Yes. And like I said, we're going to give up some big plays. It's going to happen. But I do like our offense, even though I don't know why A.J. Brown has like 3 catches in the year. He's going to have a breakout game. The TMG Trivia Fantasy Football League, the guy who drafted A.J. Brown made a post in our group chat saying he wants to ditch A.J. Brown, so he's open to all offers. I mean, no, he's going to have a breakout game. There is no way.
It's 2 weeks into the season. You don't.
Yes. That's an overreaction. I don't know if this is where he has that breakout game. But again, this is in Philadelphia. The Eagles play great at home. And so I think we will get very close game, but I think we get the win here.
I say y'all win by 10.
I'm thinking 1 possession. Yeah. And I'm thinking like 4 points. Next, we have the game that I did write down one team, marked them out about 5 picks later, and replaced it. We have the Bengals traveling to Minnesota to take on the Vikings. Right now, the Vikings are 3.5-point favorites. This is the backup quarterback matchup everyone's been waiting for. Jake Browning taking on Carson Wentz. I did see something today where it said this is the actual game to see who is better between Jamar Chase and Justin Jefferson, because they're both playing the worst, or they're both playing with their backup quarterbacks. So let's see who's victorious. And I wrote the Vikings at first, and again, several picks later was thinking about it and changed it up to the Bengals. I trust their offense just a little bit more than I trust the Vikings offense. Vikings, again, dealing with injuries. Another one is Aaron Jones. So they will have Jordan Mason at running back, who's not a bad running back by any means, but definitely losing him. I'm not sure if they get their offensive line completely healthy. And I mean, Trey Hendrickson is just going to unfortunately, he's going to be lining up Carson Wentz. So Carson Wentz is going to have a great year this year after this upcoming week. I think the Bengals win this one miraculously. We'll put it that way. Chris, what are your thoughts on this one?
I said the Vikings because better backup quarterback. I mean, Jake Browning, I think Washington, he played for the Huskies. I mean, he came out like, he's going to be the best thing ever. Nah. At least Wentz did something. And then, I mean, you got the better tight end and the Vikings. You got, I'm not going to say the better receiver because they're kind of 1A, 1B to me. The only thing that scares me is the Bengals have Chase Brown. And by the way, both their offensive lines suck anyway. So
You're not wrong there. I do think you are confusing Jake Browning with Jake Locker because I have done that so many times.
yeah,
Both went to Washington. Jake Locker got drafted like in the first or second round.
I believe it was first.
I'm about to say I can't. I'm not fine. Yep, he was number 10. Jake Browning, undrafted, signed with the Vikings. But what I will say is, and we've seen that because I believe he has played 3 or 4 games every year since he's been with the Bengals, and we've seen it every year. He has 2 really good games, and then he plays like a backup the rest of the time. He played really good against the Jaguars that quarter he was there.
I was about to say you mean last week?
Yeah.
Oh, he had 3 interceptions before he let them back.
But he did he really? But he definitely had some great throws. Yeah, he had 3 interceptions. That's crazy. But 241 yards. And so in just that little bit of time, he did outthrow Joe Burrow.
Yeah.
So we'll see though. Next game we do have the Steelers are traveling to Foxborough to take on the Patriots. Steelers are 1.5-point favorites. Chris, I'm going to have you go first on this one.
I'm going to say the Steelers. I mean, I'm not saying Aaron Rodgers is Aaron Rodgers Green Bay era, but he could beat the Patriots defense at least. And he's got good receivers.
He does. He has some really good weapons. One thing I will say is I think the Patriots so far have been my biggest letdown. Just in 2 weeks, I wasn't that high on the Dolphins to begin with, so I can't be let down that much. But I definitely thought the Patriots would be a much better team. I thought they would. And again, they're 2 games. They played the Raiders, who are a really good team this year, and then they played the Dolphins, which they got really lucky to beat the Dolphins. I thought they were going to walk away with that one. So I will say I do think this Patriots team is better than what we've seen, but I do also have Aaron Rodgers being Aaron Rodgers and definitely getting it done against the Patriots.
Plus, I think the Steelers defense is going to wake up. They've kind of been iffy the past 2 weeks.
Yeah. All right. Next we have the team nobody thought would be great this year. The Indianapolis Colts are traveling to Nashville to take on the Tennessee Titans. The Colts were 3.5-point favorites when I wrote this down earlier today. That has moved. They are now 4.5-point favorites. I'm going to go first on this one. I do not think that Daniel Jones will end the season as hot as he started this season. I definitely think kind of middle of the season or on week 12, he's going to start falling off. And he's going to be the Daniel Jones of previous Daniel Jones. But I definitely think he's going to be playing great, especially for these first half of the season. Titans don't have that great of a defense, and I really like the weapons that they have built around Daniel Jones, especially with Tyler Warren. Tyler Warren has been balling. Jonathan Taylor has been balling. The Colts are going to be balling Sunday as I think 3-score game against the Titans.
I 100% concur. I mean, just keep on feeding Pittman and Warren for selfish reasons. I'm not going to say why. But Yeah, I mean, the defense is not that bad either. I mean, it's not great, but it's mid. I mean, that's all you need to get a wild card spot because you're not going to win the South. Not happening.
I don't know. After the other two teams that we haven't talked about, they might be able to win the South. One thing to note, though, Tyler Warren is fighting a toe injury, so he is listed as questionable for the game. So we'll see what that does in the actual game itself.
Come
But
on, guys, we got to work out these toes.
I know, right? We need to figure out what stretch fixes
Yeah.
them.
Tape them up. I don't care.
If I have to go to every team's practice facility and massage every player's foot, I will 100% not go to Dallas.
Oh,
but everywhere else, we'll talk.
Falcons, it's a maybe.
All right. Next, we have Houston traveling to Jacksonville to take on the Jaguars. Jaguars are 1.5-point favorites. Chris, I'm going to go to you first on this one.
I'm going to go with the Texans on this one. I think they're going to feed it to Nick Chubb more. They finally started throwing to Nico Collins on the Monday night game. Defense is, again, mid. Jags, they're going to find a way to blow it. I'm just throwing that out there. And Texans win.
Yeah, this was definitely another one where I went back and forth. Texans are 0-2, so they are very much at that point where we're not on like critical alert, but we need to kind of turn this thing around, figure out to get wins. Because at 0-2, your chances at the playoffs are low. Not zero, but very low. You go to 0-3, and they're basically zero.
Not happening.
I will say one really tough thing though is it's in Jacksonville, but I will say I am very very slimly giving the edge to the Jaguars on this one. I do think the Texans turn it around after this week though. I do think the Jags get the win here. But next, we are moving on to Carolina as the Falcons traveling to take on the Panthers. Falcons are 5.5-point favorites. I will go first on this one. Panthers were my pick to win the NFC South, and boy, was I wrong. The fact that they were able to get some garbage time scores against the Cardinals, because that game wasn't close in the first half, and actually make that a game was very surprising to me. But I have been pleasantly surprised by the Falcons defense. That's definitely been something that they've been struggling with, and their pass rush. JJ McCarthy didn't look great against them. He didn't really look good against the Bears for a while. But you got to give the Falcons some credit. They were also very competitive against the Buccaneers, which the Buccaneers, Baker Mayfield is a lot of people's pick to
MVP.
Yeah, to be a surprise MVP.
I could see it.
Yeah. I think the Falcons are going to be one of those teams where they're really good. They just find a way to blow those easy wins. But this is one where I do think that they pull out the win. I'm going to give it to the Falcons. Chris, what's your thought on this one?
I'm going to pick the Falcons. I mean, they should have won that first game against the Bucs. I mean, I understand field goal kickers, whatever. But I mean, Penix, I'm not saying he's great, but he's a pretty good quarterback. And then the Minnesota game, I'm just like, keep on giving it to Bijan. shit. Sorry. But I'm like, he's gaining like 5.7 yards a carry.
Yeah.
I'm like, give it to him. And of course, they have to go to Kyle Pitts. And I'm like, jeez.
I love how everyone's like, Kyle Pitts is back.
Yeah,
Well,
no.
first off, you have to be good in the first place to be back. But no, it's exactly what happened last year, where he has a couple good games, but definitely, I wouldn't cut whoever I have as my fantasy tight end to
No.
pick up Kyle Pitts.
I
Absolutely
mean,
not.
raise your hand if you ever got burned by Kyle Pitts as your tight end fantasy.
Babe, raise your hand. All right, next we are going with the Jets. We just talked about the Buccaneers. Let's keep talking about the Buccaneers. Jets traveling to Tampa to take on the Buccaneers. Bucks are 6.5-point favorites. Chris, I'm going to you first on this one.
Oh, it's got to be more than 6.5. It's the Bucks. I mean, like you just said, he's having an MVP. I mean, it's 2 weeks. We can't say who's going to be the MVP. He's got too many weapons. You got Bucky Irvin and the rookie who,
Emeka Egbuka.
yes, who's killing it. And the defense is good. And the Jets, especially with a backup starting this week. I mean, it's Tyrod Taylor, who's good. But it's going to be the Bucks.
Yeah, no. Justin Fields is out dealing with concussion issues. So the Jets are starting Tyrod Taylor, who, I mean, is one of the most seasoned backups in the NFL right now. But again, they are taking on the Buccaneers, who have a really great offense. Their defense, I think, has been a little susceptible lately. One thing we were talking about was they were going to have a great pass rush. I haven't really seen that, and I do believe that they did lose their rookie Kalijah Cansey with the torn pectoral, so he's out for the year. So that is a huge loss there. But they do still have Hassan Reddick, who I fell in love with during his Eagle days.
And they also have Vita Vea, who's a
Yeah.
great stopper.
Yeah. So they definitely have some good playmakers on that defense. And I do think that this is just one of those games where it's the Buccaneers. They can be great at times, and they're going to be great at this time. I also have the Buccaneers winning this one.
It's going to be a game. I'm like, it's going to be on Red Zone channel, so I'm good.
Yeah, several times.
Yeah.
Next, we have the Las Vegas Raiders traveling to Maryland to take on the Washington Commanders. Commanders in the news this week. They are moving back to D.C., but not yet, so we can't talk about it. Right now, they're still in Maryland, though. But the Raiders taking on the Commanders. Commanders are 3.5-point favorites. I'm going to go first on this one. Interesting news with this is Jaden Daniels is dealing with, I believe it's a knee injury. So he is still questionable. And so I really think that's going to be the true deciding factor on this one. Obviously, if he plays, if he plays, good game. I think the Commanders pull it out. If he doesn't, I think the Raiders pull it out. But since I can't go on hypotheticals, is he going to play? Is he not going to play? I am going to give it to the Raiders. I just really like the way that they played the Chargers, keeping it close because they were in the game basically that whole time. And the one time they were out of the game, the very next play, they were able to strip Omarion Hampton to get right back in that game. So I believe this is I'm going to say they're a very Goonies team because Goonies never say die. I think the Raiders do just enough to keep themselves in it and possibly get that win. All right, Chris, what's your thoughts on this one?
Okay, who's the backup in Washington?
Marcus Mariota.
Whoa. I'm going to go with what I picked, even though it's Mariota. Commanders, because they're going to give it off to Bob McCroskey, even though it's Bill or Bob. And they got the defense, except for Lattimore, even though I don't know what team he played before Washington. Just lying.
Probably weren't even a good team. Like, let's be honest.
No, not a good team. But, I mean, McCroskey, McLaren, Debo, who you could supplement into the running game. I'm going to go Commanders.
All right, going with the commies. Our last 1 o'clock game, we have the Packers traveling to Cleveland to take on the Browns. Packers are 7.5-point favorites. Chris, I'm going to go to you first on this one.
I was really not thinking about this one, so I'm going to say the Packers. I mean, the first 2 weeks, they're looking good. Sorry, there could be a potential problem for your Eagles. Could be. But I cannot pick the Browns unless they give it off to Junkins. Because he had a pretty first game. He had an all right game. But, I mean, Flacco. Ugh. I mean, he did win a Super Bowl. Give him that. Best quarterback out of Delaware State ever. But, nah, Packers.
Yeah. So in our fantasy league that you and I are a part of, I had my starting running back is Caleb Jones, I think his name is, the third string running back for the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Yes, the one that fumbled it in the end zone.
Yeah. At least after the draft, he was my number one running back. My number two running back was Quinshon Judkins, who wasn't even a member of the team because he hadn't signed his contract yet. So needless to say, trades have been made. I now have two official running backs. And thankfully, I do have Quinshon Judkins for depth because I do think give him a couple weeks. He had a decent game this last week. I think he will be a great running back here in a couple weeks. This week,
how's Travis Etienne working out for you?
Very good.
Wondering where you got that one from.
Yeah, much better than any of the other running backs who have been on my team. Thank you, whoever traded me, Travis Etienne. But no, I do think, again, give him a couple weeks. He will be a really good running back. This, not that week, because that Packers defense. Yes, this team will be trouble for my Philadelphia Eagles. That's why I'm really hoping we're number one and they're number two, and somebody beats them in the playoffs before we take them on.
Which could possibly happen.
Yeah, very, very likely to happen. No, it's a 7.5-point spread for the Packers. They're going to win by more than 7.5.
Oh, yeah. I'd say at least 10.
Yeah, this game is – I don't think this game's going to be close. I think it's going to be a very rough game for the Browns. Very great game for the Packers. I will say, though, I do think Jordan Love is going to struggle a little bit with Myles Garrett eating him up. But I do think they really come away with it, especially in that second half. Close at first.
I'm going to say the Packers are going to be in the red zone channel a lot.
A lot.
A lot.
Yep. All right, now we move on to our 4 o'clock games. We have the Denver Broncos traveling to LA to take on the Chargers. Chargers are 2.5-point favorites. I'm going to go first on this one. One team has been doing very, very well. The other team has just been doing very well. I think the team that is doing very, very well is the Chargers, and I think they do come away with this one. I think it's going to be a very close game. I think it's going to be a pretty high scoring game. I think the Khalil Mack injury is going to hurt the Chargers, but not enough to actually take the win away from them. I do think they come out on top. I'm giving it to the Chargers. Chris, what's your thought?
I concur. Chargers. I mean, Ingram's going to be out for the Broncos. They can't figure out. RJ Harvey does really good for the Broncos, but they don't put him in enough. Bo Nix. I mean, not Bo. Is it Bo Nix?
Yep.
Okay. Bo Nix.
That trashy quarterback.
Yes. He shows flashes of brilliance, and then the next play, it's like, really? I just don't see going. It is in Los Angeles. I don't see the Broncos going in and winning that one. Now, if it was in Denver, different story.
Yep. I think that's another reason why I'm giving a slight edge to the Chargers, even though they don't really have home field advantage. The other team's fans always show up more. But next we're moving on. Chris, this is your team. The Saints are traveling to Seattle to take on the Seahawks. Seahawks are 7.5-point favorites on this one. But Chris, what is your thoughts on this one?
It hurts my heart to say this. Seahawks. You're going into the Seahawks Stadium, the 12. We can't start a game off good. I'm not saying Spencer Rattler is the pure worst quarterback ever, but he's not the best. He has flashes. And that running attack from Seattle is just going to kill the defense. Ugh.
Yeah.
0-3. We're going for the first pick.
Well, unfortunately, I am in the same boat. While I was a little higher on the Seahawks at the beginning of the year than what they've shown me, I do think that this one is going to be a rough game for the Saints. Yeah,
that
and
defense is going to eat up Spencer Rattler.
Yes. What's the over under on Shuck coming in and playing at some point in that game? Think it'll happen?
No.
Yeah,
they're going to go 0-5 before Shuck plays.
All right. Well, yeah, no, I do think the Seahawks get the win there also. Now we move on to the 4:30 games. Our first one, the Arizona Cardinals traveling to San Francisco to take on the 49ers. Let's see. 49ers are 1.5-point favorites. And again, that was 1.5 when I wrote this down, which was earlier today. It's now moved. They are 2.5-point favorites. There is kind of some questions on Brock Purdy. He might actually be able to play in this game. Time will tell. But one thing I will say is the Cardinals have really been playing, taking everyone by storm. I don't think anybody expected them to be playing this well. Granted,
first game.
Yeah, when you play the Saints and then the Panthers, you're not really playing great competition. But I do think just the way that they were able to just kind of roll over the Panthers, especially in that first beginning of the game. And the 49ers, I think, are just having too many injuries right now. I think it will be close, but I am giving the edge to the Cardinals. Chris, what's your thoughts on this one?
I 100% agree with you. I mean, Trey McBride's killing it. And then you got Benson and his backup who are doing great.
Connor is the starting.
Connor and Benson.
Yes.
Sorry. And then, if you can get Marvin Harrison the targets, that's a win.
Mm-hmm.
Easily. I mean, the 49ers, except for Bosa, who else is on their defense? I mean, the Saints pretty much came back on there with Spencer Rattler.
Fred Warner's on that defense. That too.
Okay, we got Fred Warner, but the Saints came back on him. So Cardinals,
All right. Next
and I
we
like
have,
the Cardinals helmets, so I'm going to throw that.
yeah. I mean they're pretty simple. White with the bird on there. Next we have the final of the afternoon games. We have the Cowboys traveling to Chicago to take on the Bears. The Cowboys are 1.5-point favorites. This is another one that changed. They were Bears were 1.5-point favorites when I wrote this down. It has now moved to the Cowboys being 1.5-point favorites. Chris, what's your thoughts on this one?
Whew, this is the one I really had to think about. So I'm going to go the Bears because they're playing in Soldier Field, and maybe Caleb Williams figures stuff out. I mean, he's got a great core. I mean, wide receiver in Rome, and he's got Loveland and Komet. Running game, yeah. But I think the Bears defense is better than the Cowboys. Just saying. My opinion.
Yeah, so going with the Bears, I am in the same boat. I do think the Bears win this one. When your defense is so bad, Russell Wilson can put up 500 yards on you. That's a great defense. Granted, they are one reason why is Deron Bland was out during that game.
Yeah.
He's still questionable for this game. Diggs is also questionable. So if you're missing both of them, oh my goodness.
And you could have traded your best player for 2 first rounds and a defensive tackle.
Yeah. Yeah. Who hasn't really been doing super good.
And the Giants should have won that game, except if Russell Wilson didn't throw that stupid interception.
Yeah.
In overtime.
No, they are very lucky to not be 0-2 right now. I do think this will be. I do like both teams' offenses. Well, yes, they haven't really been doing much. Dallas does have a really good run game right now. Dak's been doing pretty decent. I don't know if I can't think of the Bears big cornerback. I don't know if he played last week. I know we missed the first week.
I forget his name, but I know who you're talking about.
I don't know if he'll be in this game.
I mean, so Dallas does have 2 good wide receivers with Pickens.
Yeah.
But you're playing at Soldier Field. It's a different atmosphere.
Yeah. I do think Ben Johnson does finally get some magic going in Chicago in this game. Able to pick apart a pretty bad beat up defense right now. I think it will be a good, entertaining game. But again, I am giving a slight edge to Chicago here. As we move on to our Sunday night football game. And let me tell you, if I could pick any game to watch for Sunday night football before the season started, this would not be a pick of mine. This would be a 1:00 game. Mixed with a lot of other stuff.
I just saw it.
So why it's why it's the Sunday night football game? I have no idea.
Taylor Swift.
Why? Yes, definitely. And especially now that the season has come out the way that it has, we have the 0-2 Kansas City Chiefs traveling to New Jersey to take on the 0-2 New York Giants. I guess the bright side is one team.
It's the game that it's the regular season game that previews the Super Bowl.
Yes. I guess one good thing is one team will finally have a win. Chiefs are 6.5-point favorites. Obviously, there's been a lot of kind of crazy stuff going around with this Kansas City team. Their leading rusher is Patrick Mahomes, who is not a mobile quarterback. Having issues throwing the ball because they don't have a number one receiver right now because Travis Kelce hurt Xavier Worthy. But then you have the New York Giants, who are the New York Giants. And Russell Wilson can have a 500-yard game, and they still lose. So I'm going to go first on this one. Yeah, I would pick any other game. To say the Chiefs figure this one out, they don't figure it out, but they get the win. Chris, what's your thoughts?
First thought, I give it up to Kelce for that block on Xavier Worthy. That was a beautiful block.
Great block.
Great block.
He's not a blocking tight end, but great block.
But hey, he learned something. I'm going to go with the Chiefs. I mean, Giants don't have a run game. Tyrone Tracy, terrible. Put in Scatterboo, let's see what happens. And Chiefs will find a way. Their Chiefs defense is actually pretty good. Giants defense, yeah. So Mahomes going to throw up, 300 and something yards? Maybe 2-3 TDs? Game over, Chiefs.
Do you want to say a quick shout in the chat to Raj? Hello, Raj. I think I'm saying that right. After you told me how to say
that's right.
Yeah. Our last game, Monday Night Football. We have the Detroit Lions traveling to Baltimore to take on the Ravens. Ravens are 4.5-point favorites. Chris, I'm going to go to you first. What is your thoughts on this one?
I'm going to have to apologize to JB3 because the Lions are not winning this one. They can't stop mobile quarterbacks. I mean, I'm not saying Jordan Love is the greatest running quarterback ever, but now you're dealing with Lamar Jackson, Derrick Henry, Ravens defense, not bad. I mean, I know Detroit's got the Amaron and Laporta, Gibbs. Can't see it happening. Ravens.
All right, so you're going with the Ravens. For me, I think this is going to be one of those weird games where very explosive, very high scoring, very close, and then the Ravens just start pulling it out in the third quarter. And then somehow in that fourth quarter, the Ravens do what the Ravens do, and they blow this great lead. I think Dan Campbell just runs over to whichever Harbaugh it is who's over there. I can never remember if it's Jim or John, and just bites his kneecap off. I think the Lions pull a comeback win out of nowhere and get the win here. So with that has been our week 3 predictions. Chris, you have a tall task going up against Jay with his 75% accuracy. So we'll see how it pays off for you.
If I am 74, I'm all right.
I'm trying to kind of do a little bit better because last year I did great for the first 16 weeks, and then Tato miraculously had a great week 17, pulled ahead, and the last week just didn't let go. So I got something around.
It's football. You never know what's going to happen.
But thank you so much for watching. For everyone in the chat, put who you think who's your lock. The one team guaranteed to win. We're doing TMG Survivor, but I don't read the comments, so I have no idea who's winning that right. No, Packers.
Yeah, Seahawks.
Yes.
Anyway.
But yeah, thank you so much for watching. If you want to make cool live videos like this, there is a link below to try out StreamYard for 25% off. And if you want cool energy drinks, go to w.gg, use promo code PAPATMG to get 10% off your order.
Thank
and
you,
make
Papa,
smart
for
choices.
inviting me.
Thank you for coming. And make smart choices, everybody. Or don't. I don't care. I'm not your dad. But I could be your papa.